The Porsche Carrera GT, 25 years of an analog legend. Let's get into it. $1.92 million. That's the absolutely massive premium a 2005 Porsche Carrera GT commanded at a recent auction. You might be wondering, why? Well, because a quarter of a century after its debut, this 205-mile-per-hour analog hypercar is actually more revered and definitely more valuable than ever. Part 1, the Le Mans origin story, from canceled prototype to Paris showstopper. So the story actually kicks off back in 1998. Porsche was busy developing this high-revving, water-cooled V10 engine for a top-secret Le Mans prototype they called the LMP 2000. But then, by 1999, the whole project was just suddenly shelved. You see, Porsche really needed to focus its engineering power on their brand-new SUV, the Cayenne. Plus, some corporate dynamics over at the Volkswagen Group basically gave Audi the green light to dominate Le Mans without Porsche getting in the way. But this V10 engine, it was a total masterpiece. So instead of just locking it away in some dusty museum, Porsche dropped this roaring engine into a concept car to draw a massive crowd at the 2000 Paris Motor Show. And honestly, the response was overwhelming. Combine that with a massive influx of cash from those new Cayenne sales, and it basically forced their hand. By 2003, series production had officially kicked off in Leipzig. Former test driver and project leader Roland Kuzmal really hit the nail on the head here. He stated, "The Carrera GT is an essential element of our philosophy, taking motorsport seriously, understanding origins, and translating these into motion." Basically, the goal wasn't just to build something incredibly fast, it was to build a car with a pure, unadulterated racing attitude that you could actually drive on the open road. Part 2, engineering a street-legal race car, taming the V10. So how do you take a roaring race engine and tame it for a production car? Well, the engineering team actually bumped up the displacement of that 68-degree V10. They took it from the concept's 5.5 liters up to a massive 5.7 liters for the final production model. This pushed the output to a staggering 603 horsepower. And the absolute best part? All of that power is routed through a traditional, beautiful 6-speed manual gearbox. Now, to handle that kind of power safely, Porsche had to rely on absolute weight reduction. They pulled high-tech, space-age materials straight out of their motorsport division. We're talking a pure carbon fiber monocoque for extreme structural rigidity, super lightweight magnesium wheels, Kevlar components, an inboard pushrod suspension for literally ultimate handling precision, and 15-inch carbon ceramic composite brakes. All of this extreme engineering kept the curb weight down to a remarkably light 1,380 kilograms. That is insanely light for a V10 hypercar. But here's the thing. An ultra-lightweight, 600-plus horsepower car with zero electronic stability control, that can be a lethal mix on a public road. That's exactly why Porsche brought in legendary two-time World Rally champion Walter Röhrl to help tune the chassis. His philosophy was brilliantly simple. The Carrera GT driver wants to be challenged, but not overwhelmed. Thanks to his meticulous suspension tuning, this mid-engine beast could actually be driven dynamically and safely enjoyed by non-racing drivers. It meant you could take it out for everyday drives without losing that razor-sharp edge. Part 3, by the numbers. Performance that defines a generation. All right, let's look at the sheer clinical data here, because it is wild. This naturally aspirated V10 revs to an ear-splitting 8,400 RPM. It launches the Carrera GT from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 3.57 seconds. It hits 200 kilometers per hour in under 10 seconds, and it pushes all the way to a blistering official top speed of 330 kilometers per hour. Those figures were totally earth-shattering back when the car launched, and honestly, they still demand massive respect from modern supercars today. And it wasn't just fast in a straight line either. It immediately established itself as a track dominator, clocking an original Nürburgring Nordschleife lap time of 7 minutes and 28 seconds back in 2004. But check this out. Decades later, modern track testing in 2024 using upgraded tire tech brought that time down to an unbelievable 7 minutes and 12 seconds. I mean, that just proves this chassis was literally decades ahead of its time. Oh, and there's also a really brilliant, tasteful nod to hardcore driving enthusiasts. The ignition is positioned on the left side of the steering wheel. This is actually a direct homage to classic Le Mans racing rules. Back in the day, drivers had to make a running start to their cars, firing the engine with their left hand while simultaneously shifting into first gear with their right hand to save a few precious seconds. Just a really cool detail. Part 4, a 25-year legacy, valuation, and modern impact. So exactly 1,270 of these handcrafted models were built in Leipzig before changing airbag regulations in the United States abruptly halted the run in May 2006. Looking at the distribution numbers, the North American market was incredibly crucial to this car. It accounted for well over half the total units produced, with 644 models landing in the US and another 31 in Canada. And that scarcity, it's led to total market dominance today. Originally costing around 450,000 euros back in 2003, these analog hypercars now consistently fetch astronomical numbers on the collector market. For instance, a 2004 model previously owned by comedian Jerry Seinfeld went for over $1.86 million. And we saw that massive bring-a-trailer record earlier, hitting nearly $1.92 million. Which leaves us with one final question to think about. As modern hypercars, including Porsche's very own 918 Spider, fully embrace high-tech hybrid assistance and heavy automatic dual-clutch transmissions, was the Carrera GT the absolute peak of pure driving emotion? I mean, a shrieking naturally aspirated V10, a carbon fiber tub, and a 6-speed manual connecting you directly to the road. Will we ever see another pure analog masterpiece quite like it? Think about that. Thanks so much for watching this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.